Welcome back to Design Bundles YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Crystal. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to make your very own stencil this holiday season. So everybody knows what these boots are and what we need them for. So you guys are going to be able to make your very own using cardstock. Jumping right over to designbundles.net, here is the awesome file you guys can get for 1+ credit. As you can see, there is 3 different designs to choose from. I'm going to use the one here on the end. Super easy, just download it and send it straight over to Cricut Design Space. So now that we're over here in Cricut Design Space, I've brought in my file. This is the one I want to use today. You can see all of these cuts on the side. You could definitely change those depending on what you're using this for. But I'm going to go ahead and select everything and hit weld so it becomes one file. This is going to take less time to process and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and we're ready to go to size it out. I'm using a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, so I'm going to bring mine out fairly large because we want a nice big shoe for him. So I'm going to go ahead and come up here and type in 11 inches. This is going to give me 11.4 high, so I think I'm going to go ahead and change this side to 11 inches, and then it's going to give me the 10.5 on this side. So I think this is good to go. We're ready to go. Now we just need to hit make it. So just depending on the size shoe that you want to do, go for whatever you would like. So at this point, we're ready to go. We're just going to come right over here and click on make it, and that way we can choose our settings. Now, depending on the material that you're using, you're going to want to use either a matte or off matte. To me, I'm using the matte because I'm using cardstock, and I want to center this up on my matte because I want to center it right in the middle of my cardstock since it's a stencil. And then I'm going to hit continue here. Let my machine load up here, and then I'm going to choose my material. Browse all material. All I simply do is type in card, so I can look for cardstock, hit enter, and then I'm actually using like a medium, but I'm going to choose 4 intricate cuts because I've got some small pieces in there. So I'm going to choose this here, and then we're going to hit done, and we are ready to cut this out. So I'm going to go ahead and send this over to our Cricut and cut it out. Now that we have everything designed out in Cricut Design Space, everything is sized, and we have chose our materials, let's go ahead and load our mat and cut it out. So I'm using some black cardstock today. I'm just going to load it on my blue mat. I highly recommend using your blue mat because it's going to release that cardstock a whole lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up, and we're going to load it. From here, we are ready to go. We're going to hit the go button, and now it's going to cut everything out. All right, so now that we have everything cut out, I'm going to go ahead and unload. Now, something I want to show you, this is a perfect opportunity. I love when I can teach you guys things. If you notice that your paper is getting torn like this, it's time to change your blade. You know, that's a question we get all the time. How do you know whenever it's time? It's time. So if your paper is really starting to shred out like that, it's time to change that blade. So I keep mine stored right here. So what we want to do is open up our housing. Take out our blade here, and if you push on this little button right here, you're going to be able to pull out that blade. Now you also, I don't know if you guys caught that on camera or not, but when I push it like this, pieces of the paper came out. So after you cut cardstock, it's always a good idea to just tap it like so. Your blade's not going to fall out. To tap it like this to make sure there's no built up paper inside, so when you go to cut HTV and things like that, you don't have paper wedged in there that's going to mess up your cut. But it's definitely time to change that blade. So we're going to set our old one out of the way. And then you can see when you first purchase your blades, they have a little cap on it. You want to pull that cap off, carefully hold it by the blade side. We're going to push back in. You can push back in here, and then there's like a little magnet. You don't even have to push that in, honestly. You're just going to drop it down in there, and it's going to grab it. So you guys can see that there. It's just a magnet that'll kind of suck it right in. So you can either push on it and kind of push a little bit and get the magnet to grab it, or just drop it inside and the magnet's going to get it itself. Super easy. Then you're going to pop it back inside, close your door, and your blade is changed. What I like to do when I toss these out is I put them right inside of that little plastic sleeve, and I'll toss them in the trash. If you put this back in here, you're not going to remember this is an old blade. Another thing you can do is take some tinfoil, wad it up in a little ball, and you can actually poke this over and over and over again, and that will actually resharpen your blade, and then you can place it back in here for a few more uses. So I'm going to go ahead and toss mine out, and we're going to get ready to weed. All right, so what you can do is flip this guy upside down like so, and we're going to just carefully remove it from our mat. Now this will help weed out a lot of those little pieces, and what we'll have left is probably some of the intricate pieces. So all of these pieces we don't need. We want this to be our stencil. So I'm just very carefully, I'm not completely bending this in half, but I just have it, you know, kind of bent at a little bit of an angle to help remove it. And you notice we don't have this all bent over. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this out of the way. And then this is what we have. You guys can see it got out a ton of that. So all we really have is just a few intricate pieces. So I'll just take my little weeding tool here. You could take your tweezers, and then I'll just carefully remove all of those. As you guys can see, it is so easy to make your guys' very own stencil. So here is your little boots for this holiday season. So you can definitely use sugar, flour, you could use glitter if you wanted to, faux snow, lots of different options out there. Now keep in mind, you don't have to do the stencil like this. So if I lay this down and I do my sprinkles like so, I don't have to keep both of them together. I could do one shoe, scoot it up, do the other shoe. That way I'm getting this sort of motion. So feel free to do that however you want. You could definitely contour out a shoe. As you guys can see, there is multiple of these to choose from, different designs. You could do one shoe on one paper and the other shoe on another paper, so that way you don't have to kind of fuss with those possibly getting anything on them. You could get yourself a little bit of a shaker and just shake it right on top. When you lift it, that stuff is going to stay. So I think it's going to be a ton of fun, super duper easy to make. And as you guys seen, when I peeled this off of the mat, 90% of it weeded out. I only had a few little tiny intricate pieces, and I would have had a super clean cut had my blade been a new blade. But it's super easy to make. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.